Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. Yes, we are on Sunday exceptionally because we have a VIP guest, and you probably know her. She's been on the show several times. And we're going to talk about how she's been, collaborating and building up a business through the year. Because we had her at the beginning of the year, and now I'm so excited to know how things have been and how she's been able to navigate all the uncertainty and the volatility that we've seen so far in 2021. And yes, we're going to talk about award because there's going to be a big event next week, and I'm part of the honoree. But I think you've probably guessed who is the guest today. It's Jenelle. Lady Jenelle is back, and you'll get the opportunity to learn, how she's been building up, and you'll be impressed, I think. So let's start, and let's bring Jenelle back with us for an hour of greatness engineering. Another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Birai Telekima Global Leadership Organization.
Feel is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily actions.
Like, what can I do now with this all experiences that that I have? And for me, it's knowing who I am, believing in myself, and trust, and have confidence that yes, this has happened.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
I was getting my first computer when I went into undergrad, right? And so I think that stick with what you're passionate about. And if you're passionate about learning technology, you're in a great space because technology touches every industry.
So welcome back, Jenelle. And I think you recognize Jenelle. Jenelle is the CEO of She Exists. And we've seen, in front of our eyes, how She Exists have bloomed. And I'm really happy to have you back and tell us the whole story. But before we get really far in our conversation, please remind people who you are. Today we'll talk about global collaboration because I think that's been really the key for you to grow. And so I really want to know how you've capitalized on those global collaboration and where you are right now. So over to you, Jenelle.
Wow, Medi-El, top of the morning on this Sunday morning to you. And thank you so much for always making a space for me and my community on your platform. I love the revamp, the upgrade, and the different dynamics that you bring to the community. And I was just watching your commercials, and I'm like, wow, because you talk about bloom and grow, and it's like, look, every minute of the day, you're expanding. Yes. Thank you so much. My name is Jenelle. I'm the CEO and founder of She Exists. For many of those who don't know, I am so many things. I'm a mother, I'm a wife first, and I'm a sister. Big advocate to the community, social media, Facebook. I brand people's business. I just keep my eyes and ears to the digital marketing and let people know where to tune in, where to plug in. They call me the connector. And that is what I do. I love to see women and businesses win.
Mm-hmm. And right, so people call you the connector, and that's really what we're gonna talk about today, because you've been collaborating with different people, different organization, and while
Yes.
building your own organization. I've seen that you told me that She Exists has actually given a total of 200 awards in
Woo,
3 years,
yes.
which is massive, massive recognition around the world. So, one question, Jenelle, how do you think, global collaboration has been, do you think that global collaboration has been really a key for you to build up, a She Exists?
Yes, I think that was a smart move. Just because I did not want to box my brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing is I met you, right,
Mm-hmm.
from Australia, because
Mm-hmm.
here we have a lot of companies in the pandemic over social media, and they're afraid to do business with who they don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
more so if it's in another country or another continent, that's another fear, because it's like, I don't know this person. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what leaping of faith is, right? So I've met you, I've met Leah in Germany. I met my partner. She is so amazing. Niche Press, the owner of Niche Press, Janine Van Thro. And what we all did, though, we build a relationship. That's what we did first, before we just dived in and say, hey, look at us, look what we're doing. So we came in contact face to face, and then we met each other's goals and expectations, and then we started as business partners. And yes, it helped me overseas, but also it helped me to help people understand this. You cannot box and isolate your company. You just can't.
Yeah, and I mean, it was cutting a little bit. I think the connection was not helping us. But what I really picked up from what you said is that it's important to build the relationship first, because
Yes.
what we see sometimes, you connect with people, for example, on LinkedIn or Facebook, straight away they want to to talk about business and collaborating, and they don't
Yeah.
even know you, and that can be actually it actually repel you more than
Yeah.
anything. And it's important to tell people, you have to build the relationship first, and then when you know the
Yeah.
person, you can push it to the next level, because people do business with people they know. So if they don't know you, it becomes very difficult. So what are the key things,
Yes.
because you've done so much, in 2000, and
Mhm.
because we're
Yes.
getting to the end of the
Yeah.
year. So what are the key things that you've done and have been, and the key processes that you've used to be able to be where you are right now with She Exists?
Yes, Maria, very good question. I don't depend on anyone to share, to post, to do anything for me. And I stayed the course on my vision. And the other key is working hard. Many times, we build our brand and we give up because we feel that it's not working out for us, or no one is paying us any mind, and those things come, to your mind, they've came to my mind. But one thing that I had to really look at was, I believe in myself, and that I'm not just saying that, I really do believe in myself. And I look at over the years of everything that I've accomplished for a 9 to 5 for corporate, and even accomplished for other people as far as being successful in branding their company. I have to stay the course in order to see she exists where it needs to be.
I think we have a problem with the connection, Janelle. It's been breaking,
Really?
so we didn't actually get what you said. I don't know
Wow.
what it is, but if you can start again, hopefully we can get more of it. I know that you're talking about believing it
Right, because I can hear
in
you
yourself.
well.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah, I can
it's
hear you
just
well.
at a certain moment, especially when you start talking a little bit more, it start to breaks. So it does start to break. So
Yeah.
so if I get it you well, you talked about working hard, you've worked hard, you stayed the course, and the most important thing is believing in yourself, believing that you can make it, believing that you can connect with the right people, and really believing that you can make it. And that's and how do
Yeah.
you actually, because there's so much uncertainty, there's so many challenges right now. How do you make sure you really believe in yourself, and like you say, you stay the course? Because there's so many things coming all the way. And I remember, for example, one instance and one key challenge that you had was your book. You build up the book, you had the team, you have everything ready, and then something happens. So how do you stay the course, especially when you get through those really key challenges that can actually break you and break your morale?
Yeah, well, you said it. I had the book, I had the product, I had the marketing, but I didn't have the team. I didn't have the right team. I did not have the right team at all. And that's fine. That comes with learning, and that's why I made it my business to clear my community, and when I say clear my community, I needed to think of, who do I want to be around? How do I want to grow? And I had to really be front and center and true to myself to really understand this, to show me your company and tell you who you are. And that's not a bad thing, I'm not, judging anybody. It's just, who believes in your vision and who has the same goals that you have. So I started to mirror match some folks that are in my line of work or industry, and for instance, you, Mario, we were here 2 years strong because we have the same goals, we have similar mindsets, and we're going places where we want to go. So changing the people that you're around, that's key. Am I still cutting up, Marielle, or is it better?
Yeah, it's better. This time was
Okay.
really clear, better, no breaks.
Okay. And I say this part, right? Because this is key. You cannot be in a one-sided business relationship. Okay. It has to be dual. It has to be, I throw you a bone, you throw me a bone. Let's create the magic together. And what I find, and honestly speaking, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but a lot of women are selfish. A lot of women are selfish, and I believe because a lot of women are still bitter of past relationships. They're still going through guilt. And then another thing is, if you are doubting the partnership, you should not go in business with that person, because then the relationship is not going to grow. And oftentimes, when women or people are so busy being busy and hurt, they cannot see the value for a relationship or a business relationship. So we have to start finding value in each other. What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And I think a partnership would last. Oftentimes, we lose sight of what's in front of us, because we are listening to the distractions. We are listening to the whispers. We are listening to the naysayers. And, Marielle, this is a real conversation. This is not an attack. But in the years of businesses, I tend to see that a lot. And the thing of it is, I value me, right? So I'm going to value you because I value me, right? I want the best for me. So in turn, I'm going to want the best for you. And when you have that mindset, but if you don't value yourself, you're never going to value relationships. You're never going to value business relationships. You're never even going to value something someone does for you because you do not value yourself as a human. Oftentimes people take things for granted, and they take advantage and they miss the bigger picture because it's a collaboration and it's investing in one another. I hear this saying all the time, what are you willing to gain and what are you willing to lose in order to gain, right? So for me, Mario, knowing my worth is knowing your worth, right? But I have to also understand that I can't do it all for both of us, right? I could only give you the tool, but you have to respect me in return, and you have to give it back in return. And that's the only way you'll be able to stay the course on the She Exists platform and the She Exists community, and whether or not whoever's being branded, it has to be a respectful relationship in order to grow, in order to the trust to be reciprocal. You know what I mean? I've learned so many people have trust factors, trust issues. And here's the thing. I understand, but you have to be able to trust yourself in order to trust somebody else. See, if there are some internal issues going on, whether they're trust issues within yourself, whether there's self-guilt, whether there's self-affliction, it is always going to interrupt your relationship, because you're uncertain within yourself. So if there's a project or if there's something ahead of you, and if you're having these difficulties trying to figure out who to trust, or if some, right there, you just shouldn't do business at all.
And you've pointed out some very important thing, but what the key thing that I get from what you're saying is it starts with you. You have to respect yourself. You have to value yourself first. And when you are in this position where you trust yourself, you value yourself, then you can give, to a collaboration. Then you go into a respectful relationship. If you give respect, you get respect back. If you give value, you get value back. And that's sometimes what people don't understand. They want to get, but they don't want to give.
Right.
And that's when the balance is not right. And that's when things start to, go very wrong. We have Liliane here. Liliane, yes, Liliane, things have been breaking up a little bit, but I think it's been okay the last few minutes. And she had earlier comment. Yes, business across border is not easy thing to do. Well done on the creation. building.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. It is a very difficult step. So let's have a break, and when we come back to talk about this key thing, especially now with what's going on. Collaboration is really, it's really on the table. We can't do anything without collaboration, especially if we want to make an impact, especially a global impact. But let's have a break and come back to talk about, collaboration in business and in life as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon. So we're back with Jenelle, and we are talking about collaboration today. And I've been collaborating with Jenelle for 2 years now.
2 years.
And it's going stronger and stronger.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to see her in person and really,
Absolutely.
get to build, continue building, because I think we are getting to building an empire now. So it's that's the objective now. So Jenelle, I mean, there's we've talked about She Exists, and I really want you to tell us, what is She Exists, and how do you making an impact? Because like I said at the beginning of the show, I've seen you birth this this organization, and it's really going places. It's now present in different, you have collaborators in different countries, and you are really making an impact as well in your community. So what is She Exists? What is the vision, the purpose, and where do you think you are right now with with this baby of yours?
Yes, it is. Mario, I'm excited because, a lot of people, many of us are not seeing the machine, behind the scene, and I'm into love, period. And I say that because years ago, my grandmother really taught me integrity. She taught me how to love. She gave me love, and I also feel when she passed away that she wasn't represented with her flowers from her family, from her friends. And that's my opinion. I felt that we did not take the time to really truly honor who she was as a woman, as a grandmother, as a mother. And I saw my grandmother multitask. I mean, she was a seamstress, a baker, she took care of the elderly, she was a retired CNA. I say this to say because she had many tools and many talents, and she did all of them. We took her for granted. I'll now say we took the many talents for granted. We didn't really honor her the way we should. So I remember when she passed, I wrote this poem, and this poem would stick with me because I felt like there's work to be done. For some reason, I felt like there were work to be done because she left, and she left with no flowers, with no real flowers. So I begin to take up her mantle, right? And I begin to do so many things when I was in corporate and worked with the elders. So I say moving forward, we have She Exists, and She Exists is just not for young entrepreneurs. So I am working with elders. I love it. I love it. I love it from ages 85 and up. I can tell you it's been the most beautiful thing for me, right? And I there's so much more to come. I am looking to open a Readers Foundation. That was my grandmother's name, where we go into the homes and we are companions for the elders. Okay. So when you look at She Exists, She Exists as so many different moving pieces, books, publicists, PRs, marketing, working back with doctors. So I'm really branching this off where the name speaks for itself. Exists. We exist. And my goal is leaving flowers and celebrating people when they are definitely doing what they need to do. We just had a conference, the Faith Works and She Exists collaboration, and I celebrated Linda, giving her the humanitarian award. I celebrated my dearest friend Pam, who's in LA, with the leadership award, Kimberly Brown with the leadership award. And you've seen these amazing women on these platforms. I'm celebrating you, Marielle. And because you wake up, breathe the Greatest Engineer Hour show. You wake up and you do this thing, and look at the quality you're giving us. You're revamping, you're taking the time to create, you're taking the time to invest in yourself, right? And many times people, if it's not on TV, it's nothing. That's not true. So I want to be that platform to say, hey, you exist. I see you. So I'm just not saying, here, come get an award. Hey, come get it. I see the work that you're doing. One of the awards, April. Now, April is not an entrepreneur. This is a different award. But April shows up. She shows up on your platform. She shows up. She supports people, and she's growing. But the whole thing is, you matter. April matters just by showing up consistently, showing support, giving back what you have. You deserve an award. Absolutely.
And I mean, you've given, like I said, 200 awards in
Yes.
free, in 3 years.
Yes.
That's amazing. And what I really like, and you've just mentioned it, is that you don't look at. It's not about looking at a certain category of people. You look at the full spectrum and
Yes.
give award at the bottom, in the middle, in up there. And it's really what we're looking for, because like you said, we always see the same people on TV getting the awards, getting, the praises. And yet there are people doing extraordinary work in their communities, but they don't get the visibility, they don't get the recognition. And it's important to continue to encourage them. And like you said, important to let them know that we see them, we see the value that they create, and we see that, they are, they have to be part of this celebration, and people have to know what they're doing. So there's an award ceremony coming in, again, and I don't know how many of them you're going to still continue to do. But, how do you, I know you look at, a different spectrum, but it must be very difficult. How do you select the woman? Because it's...
Oh, right. We don't want to see, right. So, and that's a very good question. Just so, because I know a lot of people want to know as well. But just as an example, Sabrina Protek, very good friend of mine, business associates, she referred me to Linda Bruns, right? And we interviewed and we kept a relationship. So anyway, we needed more spunk. more perks at our conference. And I said to Linda, I was like, hey, do you mind doing interviews? She was like, heck yeah. And I know Linda's busy. So Linda showed up. And I mean, she showed up, she showed out. She was part of the program. She brought all her equipment and she did the thing. She treated us so genuine and amazing because she is an amazing woman. And guess what, Marielle? I said, wow. The things that she did in the space of knowing us in 2 weeks was like a lifetime friendship. And I said, you know what? She deserves a leadership award because that's taking leadership. That's taking leadership and owning, knowing that there's something that needs to be done. I just met these ladies and I'm there. And Linda cleared her schedule. Linda B cleared her schedule for us. And that is a leader. Marielle, I reached out to you 24 hours ago and I was like, hey, you know, can you mind? Let's do it. And you took the initiative. You didn't say, oh, let me put you on the schedule. There's a need and there's a must. Leadership, you know, I would see something in 8 hours and I'm saying, oh, you need an article. Let me send this out to you and get this done. So I see the interaction, observation. Dr. Kiki, for one, oh my God, she's amazing. Dr. Kiki tours the world. I don't know how they do it, husband and wife and Marielle. They go to about maybe 10, 11 fashion shows in 2 months. Can you imagine just taking your family on the road and you're presenting your product? That's a lot, right? And then you also have Rev, you know, she works so hard, you know, and deserving of the things that they do behind the scene that we don't see, giving out, you know, taking stuff to the shelters. So that's how I choose and I pick. And I also look at people's comments, if they're impacting people's lives, you know, so I look at that as well. I look at those comments. I go to their page when they're sleeping. When they're sleeping, I'm working. And I have 2 young ladies that are not part of the surface, right, production, and I forward it to them and they're always telling me, hey, this person needs an award, this person needs an award. So that's how I choose. Yes. But guess what, this year is my last year of giving awards. Yeah, it is. And earlier this year, it was hard to choose because so many people were amazing, so many people. But I broke it down based on who needed it and who deserve it, you know. And I won't be giving out awards like I used to. There's no more global awards virtual platform. I'm scaling back from that and moving into other things.
Okay. So we're gonna miss this, you know,
Yes.
this. I mean, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling just being recognized and knowing that, you know, the work that you're doing matters, because
Yes.
sometimes it's just about just having, you know, somebody saying you're doing a great job, you're
Yes.
making an impact, and I'm really, you know, I appreciate that, and that's all we sometimes need, and even that sometimes doesn't happen. So
Yes.
what's gonna happen the next week, because it's also going to be the last event, and I'm happy I'm part of it. So
Yes.
how is it going
Yes,
to
Maria.
happen? What are, for people who are not, part of the honoree, can they attend?
Yes.
What
Yes.
is the process? And, let us know.
Yeah, so it's the link. They'll provide a link. It's on Eventbrite. I'll provide you the link, and you can send it to anyone. So, what to look forward to is Gospel Award artist, winning award on it, artist Titus Showers. So he is hitting the trenches, and he's going to open up for us. He's going to sing to us and just make us feel special, like the women we are, you know? And each honoree would be able to no more than 2 minutes, state their name, who they are, what they do, and where we can find them. And again, it's all about networking. It's all about visibility. So that's what we're opening the platform for. And the panelists would be able to talk a little bit of the more so your talent, why she exists and why we exist and why women work so hard and what we deserve, and giving women their flowers. So it's going to be numerous of things going on, but you know how we do. We'll see it when it shows up, right?
But I mean, it's more about people, since it's going to be the last one, to really get people to understand, how, because you're probably going to talk about how it went the whole full, way, and really say a farewell to you, because like you said, you actually identify people, but we see what you're doing as well. We see the value. We see what the positive impact that you're creating, and we have to give you an award as well. I'm actually thinking about creating an award that I can give to you, because like you said, you connect people. I don't even know how many people you've connected.
I know.
In the last 2 years that we've been collaborating with you, and really making those connection work, because it's one thing to connect people, but it's another thing to know who you should connect with, so that they can have, like you said, a proper collaboration, and really start to make an impact and build up whatever they have. So just to since you're talking about the next step, so I mean, you brought She Exists to this level. So what's next? Because I mean, you're scaling back from the award, and you're probably shifting to something else. So what's next for She Exists?
Yes, different dynamics. Yes. So I am building Miracle Solutions, which is my cleaning business, and that has grown. If I tell you the story behind it, Marielle, it's like, whoa. And again, collaboration, is so important. And I'm going to be vulnerable at this point. Collaboration hasn't always worked for me. Okay. Collaborations has worked as far as the perspective of what we put, but some collaborations hasn't worked for me. It has left some taste in other people's mouth on my part. And I say this, and my book is coming, Medio. My book, it's going to be so deep, because I don't hold no bars back. Sometimes loving on somebody can be so detrimental to you, because that person doesn't understand where it's coming from, And I've got kicked down in many collaborations that I've done. I empowered, and then they devour, And with that being said, this is where I had to turn around and look at God and say, why? But here's the thing. It made me stronger. And that's why I was always determined to still do it, because it didn't break me. And I wasn't going to allow past experiences to determine my future, because that's what adversaries are made to do. And that's the whole part of being equipped. So it's like a blessing and a curse. You're blessed with something major, but then you're cursed with it as well, And the thing of it, this is what I really believe in. When you love people solely for who they are, you can allow so many things to happen and still stay the course, if that makes sense, So what I say this because my cleaning business, I was in an experience, and the experience for me was I was in a foreign land, right, Mario? And I know that I worked hard and I gave my best, and things happen. And when I say things happen, because again, here's the thing, and a lot of women need to know this, sometimes outsiders come into a existent relationship and they get jealous. And then they start to whisper. And that's because they don't have what that person had. But watch this, Mario, because here's the blessing in this. Normally, I'm loyal to the end. And I'm afraid of what this may do and never want to leave it in spite of what's in front of me, right? But this particular time, I was feeling beat down and I was feeling like, wait a second, this is not how this game works, right? And the minute I stood up and went on faith with this, just watch this video. And I stood up for my belief, right? And I let that thing go. I get a phone call, Medio. Hey, Jenelle, this is so-and-so and so, and I'm scaling back and I want to give you 30 of my accounts. I said, what? I want to give you 30 of my accounts. And I'm saying, Mario, that just doesn't happen, right? Now, I knew I was worthy of it, but I had to sacrifice. I literally had to do something that I've never done before. And that was like, I didn't care if this relationship goes sour because I don't care. And when I say that respectfully because I knew what I brought to the table. So this is another learning experience for me because you cannot be afraid to walk away from the things that you know is not helping you, or if it's not feeding you, or if it's not fueling you. You cannot be the only person bringing food to the table and it's not being in return. You can't do that. So I say this to say I got the call and this person trusted me with her business and just says, here, oh, what do you want in return? I just want you to take care of my clients. And the money's not the issue here and the account's not the issue. What's the issue out of all this? A great positive issue is I begin to have a whole entire family, a whole new family. And it feels good because now I'm in a good place. I'm in a place. So I'm going to sum this up. Sometimes God puts you through tests and he makes you deposit and deposit and deposit and deposit. He equips you. He really tests you to see what you can handle. Are you really true to the game? Are you really true to your mission? Are you really true to the movement? Right? And I'm going to put some things in your way. I'm going to make you stumble. I'm going to make you feel like you shouldn't be doing She Exists. I want to see how you run this race. So I ran a good race, Mario. Oh my God, I could sit here and tell you so many things, but I'm going to leave that for the book, right? And when I got the call, and I just heard God said, I told you, because we will be looking for a award in this avenue or looking for the praise in this thing or looking for a reward. Reward can be money, anything, when the blessing is not even what you're doing, you know? So I say this to say, I am working with elders. And it brings me back to Virginia when I used to live in Virginia. And that's what I used to do. I work with them and it made me feel so good and so great. And I'm back into that place again. I'm back into working with doctors again, you know, and I'm getting life. I'm giving life. I'm getting, it's so reciprocal. It feels so good. And so many things are happening for She Exists. And you'll be surprised. It's not just all marketing. It's not just all branding. It's not just all PR, Hollywood. It's really taking care of humanity, It's not about a dollar. You know, it's about really showing up in someone's lives and making a difference. and making a difference that changes their life, that they can continue to look at life in a whole positive perspective.
Wow, that's just so powerful what you said, because sometimes we think that business is just about money, it's just about getting things,
Yeah,
but we forget the humanity part. You forget
yeah,
about looking at what difference are we making in people's life.
yes,
And I love that She Exists is now going to that to that level. It's actually started from there, and then
yeah,
the business side came on top of it. But then you go back to the roots, really
yes,
making sure that people the people
yes,
matter,
yes,
and really give them this the thing that they're really looking for, because sometimes it's not actually a lot. It's just having a presence,
yeah,
having being in their life, and
yes,
showing up, like you said, and taking care of basic, sometimes basic needs. So that's really, really,
absolutely.
really powerful
The
to
smallest
see.
things.
The
Yes,
smallest thing. And I what I get from you is that you want it to look somewhere else, but then things that you needed, and where you could have an impact, was just next door,
yeah,
around you
yeah,
already.
yeah,
And
yeah,
now you come back and be in this space, and you are in the best place in your life.
yes,
And
absolutely.
that's very interesting. So we get a small break again, and then we
Yeah,
come back to talk a little bit more on anything that you planning to do uh, to end the year really on an extraordinary note,
yes,
and then continue to dig a little bit more on the next step for She Exists. So don't go anywhere. We are with
yes,
Jenelle today, Lady Jenelle. And you, like I said, you've probably seen her. She's the connector. She's really, there for us and for everybody. And she's been able to, branch out
yeah,
internationally, starting, from the local community, now having an impact up to here now, because I'm really, pushing for a vision here as well. So don't go
yes.
anywhere. We will be back after a short commercial. So we are back. We are back, and we really want to know what's next for She Exists, and how we can all contribute in a way to this vision, because it's not just when you look at the vision for She Exists, it's actually for all of us.
I, oh,
So it's
yes,
important. It's important to know how we can, be part of making a difference in humanity, and pushing for humanity more than just power. So
yes.
that's really. So what's next, Jenelle?
Wow, so much. So much investing in flip homes that is coming. I've had a taste of it, and I've been doing so many things. So again, starting as cleaning, because I'm not ashamed. I go in there, get my hands dirty, and I've met some great contractors. And again, this is God working. This is God saying it's your time, right? And contractors are sitting, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, hey, this is what I do. And so I'm ended up staging and now learning the investment part and trying to get my foot wet with that. Again, having a space for my elders, companions, so you'll be able to have a companion go to the store, small as just going to the pharmacy to pick up their meds. That's in the work. I am a official PR for Kimberly Brown. We are pushing Daughters of Legends hard. She's been working on so much for 2 years, and now the deck is fully uploaded. So what we call is the deck is the Daughters of Legends. They're on the deck, and we are past number 4. So we are going to launch the amazing excitement on the Super Bowl. Can't really talk much about that because a lot of things is very disclosures and stuff like that. But my book is coming. I'm almost done. And it's people will be offended for those who need to be offended, right? I didn't hold back anything, but I talked about truth because one of the things that I've been experiencing is new collaborations, quality collaborations now. And we're all talking the same thing, the same language, the same lingo. And one of the things that they're saying is, I'm bringing this to the table. And it's like, I don't understand. This is the conversation. They're not understanding the value which I bring. So I talked to a couple of PRs and they say that. And so what happens is they end up not expressing their feelings, so to say. And with me, I speak open, here's the thing. If we continue to allow other women to continue to treat other women like this, we're part of the problem. And because a lot of division is with women. And it's, I don't know why, I don't know what it is. But I also know too, if I have to meet somebody where they are and kind of teach them some things, they take advantage because they don't understand the quality of things. So that's where the learning experience come from. See, I've been in this game for over 20 years, right? Now, I'm new to social media. So I think sometimes people take me for a joke, but I've been in this game for such a long time. So for me, I'm not going to just release all the gold and diamonds. I want to build that relationship because I want to see, can you handle a relationship with me? Because we can go higher and go up to different places. But I need to understand where I stand in your life. Not about money. That respect, I'm highly big on respect. So in my book, I break down a couple of things and I educate women because it's going to relate to everybody. People are going to read it. It's like, oh my God, because there's a lot of business owners really go on other people's platform and they don't want to share at all. And this is the reality. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your business, but a lot of businesses are losing great opportunities, great possibilities because of fear. Because that's what it is. It's fear or it's intimidation. Now, I get in a habit because I'm a writer for Sheen and I have other editors with me. And to the point when I write an article about somebody and they post it, I get a lot of requests, right? Because they see who published it, and I'm afraid to even accept those names because I don't want any issues, So I've come to a place where I don't, because you see the problem, it trickles down and it's like, when there's plenty room on the table for everybody, it has to be a fair share here. You cannot allow to eat this whole thing for yourself off of anybody's expenses. And you can't. So in my book, I dive deep, I dig deep, and I really educate people on how to treat a collaboration. You know, how to treat, because the more you give, the more your gifts will make room for you. And I have a lot of people that read the Bible and they quote the Bible, but they don't act on the Bible. They don't activate those scriptures. When he's saying your gifts will make room for you, there's a reason. You got to dump all this stuff out in order to grow. Your knowledge is power. We shouldn't be paying for knowledge, but I understand. I'm not trying to knock anybody's coins. And I want to bring it back to, do you think I would have thought to answer this phone and somebody's giving me their accounts? So to me, that's well done, my servant, and I'm not being boastful about it. I'm being grateful, because now I say to myself, you earned that, Jenelle. You've earned that. Because because I'm going to get back to your question, there's so many things that my vision board, I started my vision board and I completed everything off my list. But there's another thing. You need money to move money. You need money to build. And now, before 2022, God has given me the funds to open more doors. And that's a beautiful thing, so I don't want to really talk about so many things that I got going on, because, the projects, but I'm releasing a magazine, and that's going to have a lot of doctors in there, a lot of doctors that are busting their butts back. And I need to help healthcare. I need to help with the health and wellness, because we're in a trauma situation, with all the cutbacks and with the pandemic, and, all the deductibles are all over the place. So I've partnered with iDoc Recruiting, and I've signed my contract and all of that. So all that's going to be released. I've done a lot of footwork to position myself to what I'm going to do next year. And that's where I'm moving. I'm moving on to other things that's going to build generational wealth.
And it's I mean, there's so many profound things that you said, but let me just go to, we have Trishina, so
Yes.
she's saying good morning, and she has a comment. That's right, the more you give, the more you get. And that's sometimes when people forget, is that you have to give before you can you can get back. And the fear of giving is actually stopping them to get to the point where they generate wealth and can perpetuate this wealth through generation, because of fear and because of sometimes jealousy, because they see other people doing well, and they're stuck thinking that. And I like what you said, is that there's enough room for everyone. It's not a problem if somebody has something, you can get something as well. There's enough room. Just find your place, and find the place where you're comfortable and where you can grow. And that's a key one. Wow, it's been such an amazing hour. This is real greatness, engineer, on this platform. And it has been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to
thank
have
you too, Manielle.
on the Greatness Engineering Hour show, just telling us, how things are going. And like I said at the beginning, the growth of She Exists is amazing, starting from really little and now branching out to so many industry. And I was right when I was talking, I was joking and saying it's about building an empire now. It's not, it's not a joke, it's about building an empire and making an impact and pushing for humanity. Because like you said, it is important to push for humanity, but you need money for that. You need money to move money and to make an impact, in people's life, and She Exists is positioning, itself really well, not only in the US but globally as well,
Yes,
because
yes,
we
yes,
are
yes,
all embracing She Exists. And Tishana is just saying, I love She Exists, and
yes.
we all love She Exists. We see, the impact that She Exists is creating, and we're so happy. So, uh, something that you want to leave the audience with, for before we leave the platform
Yes.
and close the day.
Evaluate yourself internally daily, daily. We have to trust ourselves enough that we can give ourselves. You have to trust ourselves in order to give ourselves, and give ourselves in a strategic way. Make sure you give yourself to the right person. Make sure that you are in good company. Make sure that you are, being fed as well, and that's what I want to say. Don't give up hope. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on who you are. And everything starts with loving you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you said it at the beginning. I am into love. So everything starts with love, and respect as well. You
Yeah.
have to. It starts with every single one of us. It starts with us internally, and the love that we have for ourselves. And then when we can love ourselves, and then when we respect ourselves, then we can give this love and respect people. And that's what needed
Absolutely.
for, collaboration, and especially for global collaboration. So that's been you've dropped so many, things today.
Yeah.
And I really urge people who actually join us, just later, or who are
Yes.
going to watch the replay, to
Yes.
make sure,
Yes.
they watch it again and again. And please connect with Jenelle. Jenelle, how do people, connect with you?
Yeah, they can.
And,
I always say it. They can connect with you in order to connect with me. All your followers. But you can check out my site www.sheexist.org. I know somebody's working on it, so it may say park, but it's not parked. And Mario, I couldn't do half of what She Existed without you. You know how we started. We know how we were there for each other in the pandemic. And you believed. You believed, and I know you believed. And that's the thing. Test the spirit by the spirit. I know who believes. I know who believes from who don't believe. And that's why we're able to create so much. And you and I are going to be doing some major conferences globally, and that's the whole part of what we did together. The greatest engineering. You are amazing. And I tell you, I don't take you for granted. I love you and everything that you stand for. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much. And it's, it's back at you anyway. So I'm not going to
Yes, I
say it
know.
again.
Yeah, yeah.
So just before we leave, I just want to highlight again that we have the coming up next week. So there's the She Exists Global Award. And like Jenelle was saying, it's going to be the last one. She Exists has given, more than 200 awards in 3 years of existence. And we're going to make sure that we celebrate She Exists, we celebrate Jenelle. And there's a link available if you want to participate. It's on, the event is listed on Eventbrite, so you can easily just go. It's free, so can you imagine? It's free for the quality that it's going to bring. So join
Yeah.
us for that. And on my side, there's also going to be which is more for the African market. So the Wedo Africans, so growing your
Ooh.
market and financing in business. And so I will be mostly, go back to my roots, which is the energy panel. I'm going to be one of, the moderator. I'm part of, and again, collaboration here is key for bringing those events to you so that you can learn. And so that's all we have for today. So it's been
one more thing
amazing.
tonight, Marielle, Money Moves, Women in Business at 7 o'clock. Not 7 o'clock, 5 o'clock on the I Am Enough talk show. Women in Business.
Okay, yeah, and we're going to have the motivational queen and
Yes.
the queen, Queen Jenelle together. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. So that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed, the wisdom and all the inspiration that Jenelle brought today. Make sure, like I said, you check on her and you check on how she's continuing to build this empire called She Exists. And so that's all for today. We will be back with another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour pretty soon. I think we have a show next week, but I need to check that. But until then, please, please get in contact with Jenelle and continue to build, humanity, because that's what it's all about for us, for me, for Jenelle. It's about making a difference in people's life. It's not just about money. It's not just about power. It's about really making a difference and bringing people up, because that's really what we are all about. So thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Marielle.